Coming up on this Summer in the City edition of Inside Bellingham, Tim Spence reminds us that the city has a ban in place on two-stroke engines on Lake Whatcom. And we'd like you to meet the grand champion of the Essence of Bellingham photo contest. And the Lummi Nation is hosting the Paddle to Lummi event July 30th through August 6th. We'll find out what that's all about. And the museum provides a fantastic opportunity to take fun history cruises on the bay this summer. We got to go along and give you a taste. All this and a season of summer ideas and local stories next, right here on Inside Bellingham. Hi, and welcome to Inside Bellingham. I'm Doug Waldo, and this is Rock Hill Park, although I have no idea why they call it that. It's located in Bellingham's York neighborhood. The York neighborhood is a mostly residential neighborhood, very close to downtown Bellingham. The majority of the homes here sit on small lots and were built between 1890 and 1910. They were built to be affordable, and the narrow tree-lined streets were designed to promote family life. The major business districts fall along the edges of the neighborhood, including portions of Lakeway, Holly, Samish, and Ellis Streets. There is also the historic mom and pop store, Nelson's Market. We asked John An over at Nelson's Market to tell us what makes the York neighborhood a great place to live.
It's the location to begin with. It's a nice, diverse neighborhood, and I mean, I've lived here now within 3 blocks of this place for the last 30 years, and I really appreciate the historic character. And we've got 2 nice parks. Franklin Park is, being renovated this summer, and Rock Hill Park is a little different than a lot of the parks in town, but the neighborhood has done a lot of work on it. We're proud of that. We get to know one another that way. There's a lot of great places in Bellingham. This is the best for us.
If you'd like more information about the York neighborhood, including information about neighborhood meetings, issues, and contacts, you can go to the York neighborhood's very own website at www.yorkneighborhood.org. For the second year in a row, the city and the museum sponsored a really fun photo contest called Essence of Bellingham. The competitions were open to everyone, with divisions for young and old, amateur and professional. Now this year, they had over 400 entries that fell into a wide spectrum of topics, everything from nature to architecture and from parks to people and society, so that everyone could enter their prized photographs. Now this year, the award for Best of Show, first place, went to Kristen Emmett for her wonderful sepia-toned photograph of a friend taken downtown on a typical rainy day in Bellingham. She calls her masterpiece Viva la Bellingham.
Hi, my name is Kristen Emmett, and I just graduated from Whatcom High School, and the thing that I love about photography is it is your medium. It's all about what you want it to be about.
1, 2, 3.
I don't really enter myself in things, fear of rejection, I guess. So it was really nice to know that I did good at something, that something that I produced could bring something. And I thought that was surprising. And having a camera down here is really nice, just because a lot of different people. And that's kind of the thing that I love about photos, is that taking pictures of people is very different from, you know, taking photos of like architecture or, you know, anything else. It's really personal.
You can look at all the award-winning photos and get information about next year's competition by going to the contest website, www.cob.org/EOD. The residents of the York neighborhood take a lot of pride in how their neighborhood looks. Each Thursday evening this summer, the Museum of History and Art is sponsoring history cruises with Richard Vanderway, the museum's curator of education. Now, these cruises are a lot of fun and informative. The cruise emphasizes the rich and colorful past of our constantly evolving waterfront, from Squam Creek all the way to Chuckanut Bay. Now, as you might guess, these history cruises are very popular, so we count ourselves as very lucky that we got to go along on this year's very first cruise.
Thanks a lot for coming along on our Bellingham Bay History Cruise. Soon we'll be moving out of Squalicum Harbor. And on our left, at about 10 o'clock now, we see the Western Gull, the oil skimmer. Do notice as you look at the bow that you can see hinges to the left and to the right. Doors on that bow open up so that boat could skim oil directly off the water, and then it would go up into tanks on a barge that would be brought out along with it. The green knoll we see at 10 o'clock is the Wantage Point Park. A fun place to go to view boats entering and exiting the inner harbor if you don't have the opportunity to be out on a boat as we are tonight. Also note at the left of the green, you'll be able to see a bronze fisherman sculpture. And on that memorial, there are 65 names of fishers and sailors who've left from Bellingham not to return since 1911. The breakwater that we see here is the breakwater that was around Georgia Pacific's secondary water treatment lagoon, a 38-acre aeration lagoon that holds 250 million gallons of water. It's a part of the 92 acres that are not needed by Georgia Pacific for their paper mill and will become a major redevelopment on Bellingham Bay in downtown Bellingham. Now, we're going to make a turn to the left and go down Whatcom Creek Waterway, as was the first and is still the most important deepwater waterway on Bellingham Bay. Dredged from 1904 to 1912, the excavated mud filled in much of the industrial land to the south, which is now Georgia Pacific and the port of Bellingham. In the trees, nothing remains of it, but this was the origin of non-native Bellingham. Henry Roeder and Russell Peabody built a water-powered sawmill on Whatcom Falls that was right here at the mouth of Whatcom Creek. They named their community Whatcom after the Native American name for the waterfall. Whatcom, a Native American word that means noisy waters or noisy all the time. Pretty good name for a waterfall. In this slightly rainy weather, we don't see too many of our harbor seals up, but we do see a few. The harbor seals have a good reason to haul out. This is cold water up here in Bellingham Bay. They can get so cold they get hypothermia. Now, in 1916, an interesting advertisement appeared in one of the local newspapers. Come see the convict ship. Most historic ship in the world, 126 years old, they said. That was in 1916. now showing in the waterway. See the dens and dungeons, whipping posts, cat-o'-nine tails, leg irons, manacles, 72 cells, tiger den, black hole, and coffin bath. What a coffin bath is, your guess is as good as mine. A photograph in the WhatcomMuseum collection of many mills on the bay. The photographer called it a scene never to be seen again. It included the Simons Mill, the Whatcom Falls Mill, the Morrison Mill, Bellingham Bay Improvement Company Mill, E.K. Wood Lumber Mill, the Puget Sound Shingle Mill, and more. There were 115 shingle mills in Whatcom County in 1907, and certainly we won't see it again. If you enjoyed the cruise, send your friends. We have 7 more for 7 Thursdays through to the middle of August. So thanks a lot for coming on our trip, and we hope we'll see you again at the museum.
The history cruises will continue on Thursday through August 23rd. The cost is just $25 per person with a discount for museum members. If you'd like to sign up for a cruise, you can call the WhatcomMuseum at 676-6981. Nelson's Market has been a fixture in the York neighborhood since 1895. You know, the city's small and simple grants are a unique opportunity for neighborhoods to finance great projects and community events. Now, one of this year's recipients of a small and simple grant is the Lowell School PTA. They received a $2,500 matching grant to construct a new entryway into the school's playground and to help kick off a major playground renovation. And we stopped by one Saturday morning to visit with them and see how things were going.
Most people come without any skills. Hopefully they brought a pair of gloves, maybe a shovel.
Lowell PTA is involved in a long-term project to rehabilitate the entire playground. And because the school is going to be closed in 2008 and 2009 to be refitted seismically, we want to do something in the short term. So we're going to redo the whole playground in the long term, but in the short term we want to do something for the kids who are here at the school today. This used to be one of the historic entrances to Lowell Elementary School. In the old photo of Lowell, that was the main entrance, and this was one of the main walkways. And it's been closed with a chain link fence and stone walls. It's not a very hospitable, welcoming area for the kids to play or for the neighbors to walk by. And so the small and simple grant has enabled us to put in these stone steps right here to reopen this historic entryway to the school. We're hoping that kids will enjoy this space and play here imaginatively. One of the things that kids were looking for was less structured play equipment. Rocks that they could just climb on and they could decide what that rock was, and stairs that they can make into, you know, a theater if they want to, something more open to their own ideas and creativity.
It's really neat because you basically, it's kind of circled, so you don't have to like go all the way over here and then just walk right there. You could just go da 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 da.
With the stairs, the way they widen out at the bottom, it's almost representative of someone's hands kind of reaching out to the neighborhood to say welcome to Lowell School and welcome to the neighborhood in general.
The projects, I think, that are funded by the small and simple grants are really kind of grassroots, you know, ideas that citizens have. And the simple reality is that many projects are expensive. And we have got donations of materials, volunteer labor, but at a certain point you just need cash. Maybe not a great deal, but in this case $2,500 was exactly what we needed, so that our vendors who brought us the stone, we could cover all of their costs.
This is a project where I just felt, you know, just this kind of a great feeling, just kind of a tingly kind of feeling ever since it's been going on, just because of all the support and all the, you know, people passing by and just say, nice job, looks great kind of thing. So it's just one of those great things about Bellingham.
If you'd like more information about the Small and Simple Grant Program, visit the Planning and Community Development Department website at www.cob.org/PCD. Well, I think summer is finally here. And that means a lot of folks will be headed for the cool waters of Lake Whatcom to play in the sun and the water. But before you take out your boat, there are some rules that you ought to know about. Kim Spence wants to remind you that the city currently has a ban on carbureted two-stroke engines. She'll also introduce you to a couple of kayakers whose skill and enthusiasm just might make you think seriously about giving up motorboats altogether.
So Heather, why did the city ban carbureted two-stroke engines on Lake Whatcom?
Well, Kim, we know from the Environmental Protection Agency that benzene in any level can be harmful in drinking water, and the source of benzene was gasoline-powered boat engines. Carbureted two-strokes can pass up to 25 or 30% of their fuel unburned into the water.
So why are other boats allowed on the lake still?
Well, four-stroke engines and direct fuel-injected engines are far more fuel efficient, and they don't have the same mechanism for passing that unburned fuel into the water.
So besides having the right engine, what are other things people can do to protect Lake Whatcom while they're boating?
Well, you know, it's really complex, and there's really a huge amount that you can do. And we've put together this little booklet with boat notes to help boat owners with that. But some of the really common sense things are keeping your boat engine tuned. And of course, if you go out on the lake, you probably go for a while, you take something to eat, something to drink, lots of things with you. Make sure that none of it goes overboard. Bring it all back. And that even goes for when you need to use the bathroom. Make sure that you use the bathroom on shore.
And so don't boats have bilges too?
That's right, they do. And bilges need to be emptied, and you don't want to empty your bilge anywhere near the lake. You go up out of the lake before you empty your bilge water.
So if you still really want a boat, what do you recommend?
Well, Kim, the best engine for Lake Whatcom is really you.
Oh, canoeing or sailing?
That's right, canoeing or sailing. And if you really want to go fast, try kayaking.
So Brandon and Heather, how did you get interested in kayaking?
Heather?
I actually started kayaking with whitewater kayaking. I was a whitewater raft guide, and then at that time met Brandon, who was a whitewater kayaker, and he kind of taught me how to whitewater kayak.
You know, you've seen the boats out here in the summer. How does kayaking compare to motorboating?
Motorboating on this lake is, I would just say the difference between being in a kayak versus a motorboat is that in a motorboat, you're going to miss about 95% of what we find enjoyable about the lake and about kayaking. We kayak for fitness, we kayak to fish, we kayak to photograph nature, we kayak to go camping. You're not riding over the water so much as you're in the water, you're getting splashed by the water, you're occasionally falling off your kayak and swimming, you're getting back on. And so water cleanliness is paramount to an enjoyable kayaking experience. And take it one step further, this isn't just a beautiful natural lake that we want to preserve for the wildlife in our experience, it's the drinking water for the city of Bellingham. And so even the surface where we play, that's just a small fraction. The entire depth of the lake, everywhere it is, its cleanliness it couldn't be more important. And I think having the intimate relationship that a kayaker has with the water is a way to really grasp how important that cleanliness is, and to really understand that, hey, we all need to take a part in keeping this resource as clean as possible.
Now, you also mentioned racing, so there's something about speed you like. Tell us about that.
Yeah, no, that's what brings us out to Lake Whatcom every single Wednesday night is we have 60 boats to race, and we can go fast. We're racing hard, and it's fitness, it's speed. You get that, adrenaline going, you get the fitness going, and it's awesome. It's amazing.
Oh, it sounds really, really fun, and a great way to see the lake in a different way than other people might think. So, thanks for coming out today.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Yeah, this is great.
You can find out more about what's going on in Lake Whatcom by visiting the city website at www.clb.org and clicking on the Lake Whatcom link. In June, the Birchwood and Columbia neighborhoods organized a group walk along the latest portion of the 50-mile-long Coast Millenium Trail. Now this trail will eventually run from Skagit County all the way up to White Rock, BC. The newly constructed part of the trail runs along Squalicum Creek. We asked Gina Gobo, the Capital Projects Coordinator for the Parks Department, to tell us all about the trail.
Just standing here now, we've had multiple people walk the trail, so this is just kind of just an event, just something to announce it, but people already know because they've been waiting.
I think it's very much needed. I think the turnout today is reflective of that.
This trail is the Squalicum connector of the Coast Millenium Trail, and this is part of the entire Coast Millenium Trail system that eventually will go from Skagit County to Canada. This segment is about 1/3 of a mile long, and what's significant about this segment is really it's a great connector between Birchwood and the Columbia neighborhood.
We've been thinking about it a long time, and it just serves this part of town and will make a bridge between two other existing places beautifully.
It's gone through many years of plans and reviews, and the Greenways Committee and the Park Board have worked on this, and it's been master planned, and the neighbors have met and reviewed and looked at the plans. It's had a long public process, and now dirt is starting to be moved, and that's very exciting.
The rest of the site is under construction as a separate project. Is all part of Squalicum Creek Park, ball fields, eventually dog off leash, and passive recreation. So that's what's in store for this site. What's something that's fun about the trail now is it's a great vantage point to see what's going on at Squalicum Creek Park. You can be on the trail, connect from one neighborhood to the other, and be safely out of the construction zone, but yet you get a bird's eye view to see what's going on.
I mean, it's always fun to actually get to see something done and get to walk it.
Definitely. And it's wonderful to have it here. Yes, it is. And not the only area where there's no trails.
Yeah. I think that it's going to be a place for people from all over town come to, and I think it's going to be a huge benefit to people on the north side of town who don't have as many parks as other portions of the town have been lucky to have.
You can find out what's going on in all areas of parks and recreation by visiting their website at www.cob.org/parks. The title of our next story is okay. The title of our next story is Dumpster Day. Now, I know that doesn't sound very exciting, but for a lot of folks who live here in the York neighborhood, their annual Dumpster Day event contributes significantly to neighborhood pride. Last month, York residents did a kind of a spring cleaning, you might say, and got rid of garbage that didn't fit into their trash cans. Can you relate? Nelson's Market Sanitary Services Company and Recomp of Washington donate their services and equipment, while volunteers donate their time. Not everything that can fit into a dumpster can be put there, though.
No yard waste. That should go to the yard waste facility up on Lakeway. Definitely no hazardous chemicals, no old paints or solvents. Those need to be disposed of at the disposal of toxins on Airport Drive, and no large appliances. So that's kind of our framework. This has been happening for about 12 or 15 years, and it's a day on which SSC, the dumpster company, and Recomp of Ferndale donate their services, and people from the neighborhood are able to bring junk that's like been in alleys or in their homes or whatever, and they can dump it in the dumpster here for free. So it's just kind of a day to clean up the neighborhood. You know, it's springtime, beginning of summer, just kind of get a fresh start. And we have a pickup truck here available for people who can't haul their own stuff here. So we've been combing the alleys and bringing all the stuff here to this dumpster. I think most people are interested in having a cleaner neighborhood, but it's kind of a big effort to like actually make it happen, to actually get that junk out of the alley, out of their backyard, and to the dump. You know, it takes a lot to get organized, and so this is a way for people to do it easily. You know, if the resources are presented to them, they'll do it. But if they're not, stuff just accumulates.
If you'd like to find out if there's a dumpster day in your neighborhood, contact your local neighborhood association. Or to get more information on neighborhoods, you can visit the Planning and Community Development website at www.cob.org/PCD and click on Neighborhoods. You know, the York neighborhood is really a great place to ride your bicycle. Have you ever heard about National Night Out Against Crime? Well, it's held every year on the first Tuesday in August, and this year that falls on August 7th. It's a time for communities to come together and stand united against crime. Last year, this event attracted 35 million people in the USA and Canada to celebrate safe neighborhoods. In Bellingham, over 40 neighborhood events attracted more than 1,300 citizens for block parties, picnics, organized fun in various parks, events with community leaders, police, and fire officials. A great time was had by all. You can find out more about how to organize an event in your neighborhood by attending the kickoff event in Lowell's parking lot from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on July 21st. Paddle to Lummi is a once-in-a-lifetime event that will take place for 6 days on the Lummi Reservation. The Lummi Nation is playing host to the finale of an incredible journey, welcoming individuals and families who will paddle canoes from distant Native American nations from all over the Northwest Coast. It's an event that is expected to draw over 7,000 people from as far away as the Aleutian Islands in Alaska. It's also an event that includes the first Lummi potlatch since 1937. We asked Freddie Lane of the Lummi Nation to give us an idea of what Paddle to Lummi is all about.
Well, the Paddle to Lummi, it began back in, I believe, 1989 with the Paddle to Seattle. Like last year was in Muckleshoot down in Seattle. The year before, it was on Shell Beach up in Vancouver Island. Basically, the gatherings brought together Indians from near and far. We do have a couple of canoes coming from Juneau, Alaska, and St. Paul Island, which is up in the Aleutian Islands, and up in Bella Coola, British Columbia, where the canoes would travel the traditional highways of our ancestors. We call these our ancestral highways. Well, it's not just about the paddle. The journey is coming to Lummi, but once the different tribes and hereditary chiefs, once they land, we host them and we have a big feast, and then we start what is called, again, the protocol. And that's when there's the dancing and the songs and it goes late into the evening. It's something that, it'll probably be the greatest, historic event of my lifetime. And I think it's just a sight to see, for the 6 days starting July 30th, that people will really have that opportunity to sit and absorb and to feel how our native culture is still alive.
Paddle to Lummi takes place from July 30th to August 4th. You can get more information at www.paddletolummi.com. Well, we hope you enjoyed our show and found it informative. If you have feedback or ideas, we would love to hear from you. You can reach us through our website or directly via email. From all of us at BTV10, we look forward to seeing you in this community we call home. I'm Doug Waldo. Thanks for watching.